Good morning. What I'd like to do here is hopefully to demonstrate what we call the run-in and break, which is the typical way the Royal Air Force used to rejoin an airfield under operational conditions. This has several advantages over the long, slow approach. Firstly, that you're less vulnerable to a young teenager with his AK-47 taking a pot shot at you as you come in. Secondly, you actually get to land quicker at the airfield, and you reduce the amount of time that you spend flying low and slow, which may be important if you've come back with some battle damage from an operational mission. Lastly, and most importantly, it gives you the opportunity, as you can see here in a second, of recceing the airfield whilst you still have fairly high speed in order to get out of the area if necessary. But you can here see we can recce the airfield for craters or suspicious activity going on. The procedure itself is to come in along the runway heading, and around a third of the way along the runway to chop the throttle, put the air brakes out, and pull the aircraft into a fairly hard turn onto the downwind leg, in this case onto the reciprocal heading of 225 degrees. As soon as the speed is below flap limiting speeds, put the flap and undercarriage down and the air brakes back in. There we are on the downwind leg, paralleling the runway, checking now that the finals approach is clear, and in a second, when we're past the end of the runway, we want to turn back onto the runway in a continuous turn, putting full flap down, and importantly trying to keep the aspect ratio of the runway the same, the aspect ratio being the apparent width compared to the length of the runway. If you keep this aspect ratio the same, then there is every chance that you'll make a smooth, continuous turn onto finals. So here we are coming round, trying to maintain a speed of between 130 and 150 miles an hour, aiming for a threshold speed of around 125 knots. So there you have it, a fairly quick, easy and safe way of rejoining an airfield under operational conditions, with several advantages over the more typical instrument landing approach, or long straight-in approach. Here we are, touching down, keeping the nose up to use some aerodynamic braking to save wear and tear on the brakes, which always goes down well with the ground crew. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the track, and hopefully see you in the skies.